Welcome to my video, How to Run Seminars and Workshops for a Living. Let's go. First, I'm going to walk you through the opportunity. We're going to look at how much you can actually make leading seminars and workshops. Then we're going to discuss the different types of seminars and workshops that you can do. I'm going to lay out some of what you need to consider for the business model, which is how you're going to make money. And finally, of course, we need to talk about how you're going to promote your seminars and workshops. Let's get started. Before I dive into the specifics about leading seminars and workshops, I want to just address the opportunity and how much money you can make and how much transformation you can make. The truth is, it depends on your business model and how you choose to monetize seminars and workshops. I know this because I've had a few different business models along the way as I've done these types of events. When I started my business 14 years ago, I did seminars and workshops very different than I do them today. Back then, I monetized them through ticket sales and sponsorships. Now, those are very viable, great ways to monetize seminars and workshops, but the problem is you've constantly got to be delivering and filling and marketing new seminars and workshops because you're only making money on the front end when you actually deliver the seminar. So what I want you to consider in terms of the bigger opportunity and how you can really monetize this and make a living is you need to figure out what's going to be your big back end. Now, if you've watched other videos of mine, you've probably heard me talk about the big back end ad nauseum. So I'm not going to belabor it, but I do want to point out that it's fundamentally important that from your seminars and workshops, you have back end programs and services that you're offering. Ideally, that you have back-end programs and services that have monthly recurring revenue. That's your business model. Always remember that your business model is the mechanism by which you turn your magic into money. When you lead seminars and workshops, you can turn your magic into money upfront by selling tickets and registrations to your event. But the more lucrative and sustainable way is to use those seminars and workshops as a platform, as a springboard into longer-term client relationships. My favorite type are coaching relationships and group coaching programs. Now, I'm not going to dive deeply into that in this video, but I have a ton of videos. In fact, I have a whole playlist on how to monetize masterminds and group coaching programs that I highly encourage you check out. And you can click on the link above to check that out and watch it later when you're done with this video. So to answer the question, how much money can you make? Well, you can make a lot, and it really depends. You can also lose a lot of money. In my experience, you can make anywhere from a few hundred to several $100,000 depending on the format and the type of workshop or seminar you decide to give. And that's why that leads me into my next point where I'm going to share with you the different types of seminars and workshops you might want to consider. Okay, so this is going to be really easy. There are just 3 things to keep in mind. The first is what I call a light seminar offering. And in a light version, what you're talking about is low price point and short amount of time. Okay, so with a light seminar, this might be, hey, I'm gonna do a 90-minute seminar. It's gonna be $37. That's what I did for the first 4 or 5 years of my business, of my consulting business. So I would get restaurants or bars or venues to host me. I would put a link up, I'd put an Eventbrite page together, and I'd get people to register for $37. And part of what we were doing was, we're gonna have this topic, we're gonna have this discussion, you're gonna do some networking, and then you're gonna be on your way. Now that's a great way to introduce somebody to your work. So I consider these to be introductory seminars. And an introductory seminar, really the goal of it is to get them into something bigger. And in fact, the goal of an intro seminar might even be to get them into the next level of seminar. Now the next level is a medium. And a medium is usually somewhere around like 1 to 3 days, and it's a higher price point. You can also get people directly into this. In fact, this is my business model. I start here. Sometimes I'll do a little online webinar intro to get people into my medium, which is another way of saying a breakthrough program. A breakthrough is when people get some sort of really juicy outcome in a compressed amount of time, and they pay a higher price point. They pay, usually I recommend for these medium types of seminars and workshops, somewhere between $1,500 to $5,000, depending on what the value proposition is. Now, the third type of seminar is what I call an intensive. Now, an intensive is longer and it's higher price point. This is where you're basically asking people to make a much bigger commitment. So I'm looking at usually somewhere around 7 days or a month. Some seminars last for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So this is where your bigger, deeper dives are, and this is for mastery. Now, I recommend for these higher value intensive seminars and workshops that you charge a higher amount of money. And maybe that you not call it a seminar or a workshop. Why? Because most people have an idea of what they think a seminar or workshop should be or should cost. So this is kind of a bit of an outlier. In this case, I might use the term immersion or intensive or mastery program or something like that. Now let's talk about, once you've decided what kind of seminar you want to do, now it's time to look at promoting it. Now, of course, promoting your seminar or workshop is going to depend on what type of seminar you have. For the small ones or the low price point ones, it's usually a lot easier to promote and fill them. And that's why I suggest using those to help you fill the medium and large ones. It's usually easier for people to make a small commitment first and then to go from that smaller commitment into the bigger one. So let's talk about marketing. My absolute favorite marketing strategy for seminars and workshops is to do speaking engagements. Why? Well, the first reason is that somebody that's at a speaking engagement, at a conference, at an event, is more likely to want to go to other events. And that's why marketing and promoting yourself at an event is a great way to get people into another event. Another really great marketing strategy that I use myself is partnerships and affiliates. With partnerships and affiliates, you get other people to promote you to their audiences and then often give them a share or a cut of what they earn for you. Another great marketing strategy is email marketing. In fact, that's second only to speaking. And actually I use it in conjunction with speaking, which looks like when I go and I speak at an event or when I do anything on the internet or live in person, my goal is to get people to enroll into my email list. And the reason I do that is so that I can then communicate with them directly without a middleman. So even if you have a huge Facebook audience, even if you have a ton of Instagram followers, I suggest that you pull all those people together into an email list and then use that list to promote your seminars and workshops. Another great strategy is to use Eventbrite. Now, I list most of my events, at least my smaller ones, on Eventbrite. And one of the reasons that I do that is because Eventbrite will promote you to their audiences and to other people who might be interested in what you're doing. If you can gain traction in Eventbrite, you can get a whole bunch of eyeballs without spending any additional money. Now, here's the thing. For all of these strategies to work well, my recommendation is to put extra time and attention and effort into crafting the title and the value proposition of your seminar or workshop. It is so helpful. I remember when I was doing these seminars and workshops in the beginning of my business, I put together a Myers-Briggs personality workshop and nobody showed up. And then I renamed the workshop, You're Not Crazy, It's Just Your Personality, and 225 people signed up. That's the power of having a juicy name and value proposition. If you're looking to put together intensive workshops and seminars, then I highly recommend checking out my Retreats business model. You can get your free Retreats to Riches roadmap to discover exactly how to build a retreats-based business at retreatstorichesroadmap.com for free. Enjoy.